Hi everyone, welcome back. So today is lesson 3 of week 2, and it's going to be on handstands and wheel are some of the shapes that you're going to see in the practice today. And it's about 40 minutes long, so it's an extensive practice, so be ready to move.
So we have a lot to get to today. In not a very long time, we're going to get to in the direction of full wheel and handstand. I say in the direction of. You're going to need a wall, and we're going to start at the wall, and we're also going to need a strap and 2 blocks. So let's just set our strap up really quick before we hit the wall. So make a loop, and this is kind of precise. We're going to work with the strap at 2 different widths today. The first is shoulder head distance. So really measure out your upper arm bone, not hunched forward, which would be shoulder arc, but nice broad shoulder head distance apart. And then later we're going to tighten it and make it armpit distance apart. So for now, shoulder head distance apart.
Shoulder to shoulder.
Put it off to the side. Blocks you won't need until later. Come over to your wall. And then stand with, let's say, your right hip in the direction of the wall, a couple of feet away. Take your right hand and bring it shoulder height to the wall and externally rotate your arms, which you know is spinning the bicep up and the tricep down. Your palms can turn, your fingers can turn back. And I want you to put a little bend in the elbow. That's not necessary, but just a little bend in the elbow to give you a little more oomph in your arm. And then very strongly, close your eyes and do this so you're a little more on the inside. Ground your hand against the wall. Take your shoulder head, your humeral head back, firm your shoulder blade on your back ribs, and begin to turn your chest to the left. Dial your chest to the left. You can kind of very slowly walk your feet, just inchy, a little bit to the left. This is subtle. So you're turning your ribs away from your shoulder head, your upper arm bone. Your upper arm bone is hugging back and down, and your ribs are turning away. So envision your pec major, that big fan of musculature that's running from your rib cage to your upper arm bone, just below the head of the upper arm bone. So if you think about the head of the arm bone pulling back and down, and your chest turning in opposition, you should feel a big stretch at the front of the chest. You'll probably feel this more in the shoulder area where you're probably tighter. And then back off, and now all I want you to do is take your hand up at about a 45-degree angle. Keep a little bend in your elbow, and now very strongly depress your shoulder blade down your back, shoulder blade, scapula, down your back, shoulder head away as well, and start to turn your chest again. And you may or may not notice a big difference here, but what you're stretching now with the arm up higher than the shoulder, but the shoulder blade moving down, is your pec minor. Remember that little hook at the very, very inner border of the shoulder blade poking forward a little? Pec minor attaching from that little hook, the little beak, to your ribs, higher up the ribs. Turn your chest in opposition. We're going to do this stretch again at the very end of class in a different relationship to gravity. Shoulder blade down, shoulder head back, away from your ear and down, and then back off, and let's switch sides right away. So left hand, straight out, shoulder height, tiny bend in your elbow, shoulder head back, and close your eyes, go inside, shoulder head away from ear, back away from your chest, and start to turn your chest. And you probably will notice that one shoulder is significantly tighter than the other, which is harder to know when you're weight bearing, like in a plank pose. Even hard to know when you're doing like a back bend, like a bow pose, to really feel the difference. The wall is going to give you a nice feedback here. Take one more breath, shoulder head back and down, chest wrapping in opposition. Back off, take the arm up in an angle, keep a little bend in the elbow, shoulder blade down your back, shoulder head back, but mostly shoulder blade down, and then turn your chest. So my left shoulder, where I have an old shoulder injury, can feel pretty wonky here. Stretching my really tight pec minor. shoulder blade down and away from your ear, chest turning in opposition. Press your hand against the wall. You can even think of kind of dragging your hand down the wall to do the same with your shoulder blade. Turn your heart, and then back off. And as you walk to your mat, give your shoulders a little roll, 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 roll. Come to sit. You can slip a block underneath your bum if you like, just briefly. We won't be here too terribly long.
Okay.
Reach your arms forward. And then I'd like for you to close your eyes, go back to all the talk we did of the glenohumeral rhythm. Front ribs in, back of the neck long. Begin to reach your arms up in the overhead plane. Envision the spinning discs of your shoulder blades. Outer border of the shoulder blade, rolling out and up with the reach of your arms. And then just notch the nape of your neck down and think of the inner border of your shoulder blade rolling down, even if that's hard to actually feel. Outer border of the shoulder blade rolls up. Reach the arms up. They don't have to be all the way in line with your ears. They can be slightly forward. Take one more deep breath. Turn your palms forward and begin to slowly, slowly bend your elbows down, down at your sides, and then angle your elbows slightly forward. So not all the way down to your ribs, just down at about a 90-degree angle, could be slightly lower. Angle your elbows forward and feel that as the elbows angle forward, that will also mean that the hands angle back. The shoulder heads, the upper arm bones move back. This is a lat pull. Pull your shoulder blades down your back, activating your serratus anterior. Shoulder blades firm, elbows forward, wrists, hands angle back. Do that from the shoulder joint though. It's the upper arm bone hugging back and in, taking the elbow forward, which carries the forearm back. It's not the wrists angling back. Feel the shoulder blades firm and pull together on your back. Exaggerate that. Pull your elbows down a little more. Slowly, slowly, reach your arms forward. Think plank pose out in front of you. Flex through your hands. Press the wall away from you. See your shoulder blades moving down your back, but also broadening apart so the back body fills. Make your collarbones wide. And then very slowly, think chaturanga, start to bend your elbows, drop your hands down a little and pull them back and feel your shoulder blades pull together on your back. Pulling down away from your ears, but contracting together on your back. And then slowly reach your arms up in the overhead plane. Feel the shoulder blade discs do their thing, nape of the neck long. Exhale here, extend through your spine, ground your seat, reach up a little taller, and then slowly lat pull. Turn your palms forward, shoulder blades pull together and down your back. Elbows angle forward, wrists angle back. Stretch your palms forward, think plank pose, broad collarbone, but also broad back body, and chaturanga dandasana. Pull your elbows back, retract your shoulder blades, but don't let your front ribs pop. Do that one more time. Reach your arms in the overhead plane. Feel the flow of your shoulder blades, glenohumeral rhythm. Lat pull. Pull your shoulder blades together, firm down your back, front ribs in, elbows forward, wrists back a little. Press your arms forward, plank pose. Press an imaginary wall away from you. Chaturanga dandasana arms, shoulder blades pull together and down. Front body, broad collarbones wide. And just rest your hands on your lap for a moment. Take a full deep breath in. Then a slow deep breath out. For a soft balm, your hands can float to your heart. So make your way into an extended child's pose and put your hands on your 2 blocks lowest height. Just move a little. Simple. Stretch your arms really long. Walk your way forward. Tuck your toes. You might need to slide your hands back just slightly for a downward facing dog.
Oh.
Give a little lift to your right leg, breathe in. Step your right foot lightly forward inside the right block. As you reach up into a high lunge, bend your back knee so it hovers off the floor. Lengthen your tailbone and just straighten your back leg. Do that twice more. As you inhale, bend your back knee so it barely touches the ground, and then exhale, firm your belly, lengthen your tail, and straighten the left leg. One more time. Inhale. Almost touch the floor. Exhale, hug your hips into the midline, straighten your leg. And then drop your back knee all the way. Look up, press your palms. Anjaneyasana. Frame your front foot on fingertips on blocks. Straighten your front leg and fold. Just passing through a flat back. Step your back foot forward. Inhale. And then take the back of your hands to your two blocks and give your wrists a little stretch here. Hang your head, let your ribs rest on your thighs. So go ahead and bend your knees. Get this out of the hamstrings. And then see if you can bend your elbows back a little and give the back of your hands a really good stretch. Take one more full breath in. And a slow, deep breath out. Bend your knees even a little deeper to roll up to stand. Inhale, feel the flow of your shoulder blades. Lat pull, exhale. Firm your shoulder blades on your back. Press your arms forward. Inhale. Think Chaturanga Dandasana. Exhale, bend your knees. Inhale, lift your heart up, and then just forward fold, bring your hands flush to the blocks. Step your left leg back, inhale. Plank pose, exhale. Tap your knees to the floor, inhale. Lengthen your tailbone. Go just a tiny ways to Chaturanga Dandasana as you exhale. And then keep your elbows bent and pull your chest forward, pull your shoulders back, little hovering cobra. And then extend your bum to your heels through extended child's pose. Rock your way forward, adjust your hands a smidge if you need to, and come into downward facing dog. We're gonna go right into the left side, left leg lifts. Inhale, up too high. Step right inside the left block. As you reach up right away, put a bend in your back knee, lengthen your tail, keep your tailbone lengthening, and straighten your back leg. Do that twice more, really slow with your breath. Inhale, hover the back knee, hug your left hip back and in. Straighten your back leg, big stretch for the right psoas. Do that once more. Belly to spine, almost tap the back knee, and then straighten the leg. Drop the back knee down. You can point the toes or not. Look up, Anjaneyasana. And then frame your front foot, fingertips on blocks. Straighten both legs, hold long down your left thigh. Step your back foot forward, inhale. Fold, do the wrist stretch on one exhale. Bend your knees even more to roll up to stand, reach up. Flow the shoulder blades. Cactus your arms, angle the elbows forward, shoulder blades on your back. Think plank, broad front and back body. Protract the shoulder blades. Think chaturanga. Lift your heart up, do a big inhale, think cobra. And then bend your knees and forward, bow hands to block. Step your right leg back, inhale. Step your left leg back, plank. Firm your body, tap your knees down. Lift your belly against gravity. Tiny little chaturanga. Hovering cobra, chest forward, shoulders back. Extend your butt back to your heels. Extended child's pose. Again, like that, really fluid now. Tuck your toes so you know where you're going. Now really merge posture to posture. Downward facing dog. So slow, exhale. Right leg lifts, inhale. Right foot lightly steps, round and step with control. As you reach up, bend your back knee almost to the floor. Tailbone long as you straighten your back leg. Drop the back knee, inhale, look up, press your palms. Frame your front foot, Parsvottanasana. Go nice and slow, step forward, flat back. Fold, stretch your wrists. Bend your knees, roll up to stand, reach up. Outer border of the shoulder blade lifts. Lat pull, exhale, firm your shoulder blades on your back. Standing plank, inhale, Shoulder blades widen, but front chest also wide. Chaturanga, start to bend your elbows, shoulder blades together. Back bend, inhale, think cobra. Exhale, forward fold. Left foot steps back, inhale. Right foot steps, knees drop. Tiny little chaturanga on this exhale. Hovering cobra, chest forward, shoulders back. Butt to heels extended, child's pose. Left side, and then we'll add on a little. Rock forward, make your way slowly, Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Flow the shoulder blades in the overhead plane. Left leg lifts. Left foot lightly steps. Bend the back knee to hover as you reach up. Square your pelvis to the front. Straighten tailbone long. Anjaneyasana. Drop the back knee, look up. Parsvottanasana. Exhale. Step your back foot forward. Step your heart forward. Stretch your wrists as you exhale. Roll up to stand. Take your time. Reach up. Lat pull. Firm your back body. Plank. Protract the shoulder blades. Chaturanga. Retract the shoulder blades. Pick your heart up. Standing cobra. Exhale, forward fold. Step your right leg back. Step your left leg back and tap your knees, lowering slightly. Hover through the cobra. Exhale, your bum to your heels. Rock your way forward. Tuck your toes. Downward facing dog. Give your right leg a little lift. And then step your right foot forward, right inside the right block. Grab the left block and slide it back and under your left knee. Keep your chest angled forward for now. Bend your back knee. Reach around with your right hand and take the top of your left foot with your right hand. And then with your torso down, you're taking this pretty much entirely out of the spine and bringing it into the left quad and a little into the hip flexor. So holding the left foot, pull your heel a little closer to your bum. We're stretching all the quad muscles, especially if you kind of roll a little from side to side. Specifically, we get the rectus femoris by bending the back knee. The rectus femoris attaches to the top of the shin bone, so when we bend the knee, we get deeper into that middle quad, trying to get the quad open, eventually for a full wheel. Keep hold of the foot and then start to lift your torso. You can reach around with your left hand as well. And then back your hips up until you really get your butt to your heel. You might have to go pretty far back. Keep your heel and your butt in contact. And then any amount, go forward, but don't let your heels spring off your butt. You should feel a really big stretch for your left quad. Big, big, big stretch for the left quad. Open the front of your chest, wrap your elbows back, descend your hips any amount, but don't let your heel leave your bum. And take one more breath. Release your left foot, grab for the other block, and reach that block up in the overhead plane. You can back your hips up a little, kind of come out of the left quad for a moment. Squeeze the block. You can take it forward just slightly. Spin your biceps back, duck your chin down, and don't drop the block to your shoulder blades. Just reach it back in space, like you're trying to deliver the block to a person right behind you. Feel that difficult action of hugging your elbows into the midline, but moving the arms back behind you. Go back, go back, go back, go back. Now duck your chin down again, hold the block in your right hand. Keep the left hand as it is for now. Release the block off to the right side, lean a little into a side stretch and drop your left forearm behind your head and try and crawl it down your spine. So it's like the top half of Gomukhasana. Then leave that block that's on the right side, come back upright, bring your right hand to your right thigh, lift your chest, lift your heart, and just lean a little, your head towards your left forearm. And try to hug your left arm in. Now really hard to maintain external rotation here. Do your best. Spin your bicep back, and you should feel a big stretch for your left tricep and armpit. Take one more breath, and then slowly release. Grab for your two blocks, one and then the other. Put them down. Step your right leg back. Hold plank a moment to restructure your arms. If your blocks landed in a wonky place, put them back in place. Press your hands against your blocks. Make your arms sharp and strong. Lengthen your inner heels back. Look slightly forward, but don't overlift your gaze. And then really strongly firm your inner hands and feel the neutralizing of your forearms as your biceps spin forward and your triceps spin back. External rotation in your upper arm bones, neutral forearms. The eyes of your elbows are star-crossed, looking at opposite corners of the front edge of your mat. Very slowly drop your knees back and down, bend your elbows a little, and pull your chest through. So same work in the arms, biceps spin forward, triceps spin back. Firm your belly, keep your toes tucked, knees down, pelvis is hovering. Pull your shoulders back, pull your heart forward. And then stretch your butt back to your heels. Extended child's pose. Rock your way forward, tuck your toes. Downward facing dog. Lift your left leg a little, not too high. Step your left foot forward. And then slide the right block underneath your right knee. Essentially padding it up. Keep your chest angled forward, bend your right knee, and reach around with your left hand and clasp the foot. You might need to come more upright. I should have said this on the other side. You might need to get more upright to grab the foot, and then you can angle forward again. And then just enjoy a little bit of organic movement here, opening into the right quad. You might notice right away that this side is significantly tighter than the other side. Maybe it's looser. Just notice. Practice noticing. And then keep the heel snug towards the butt, come up right. And now you can back up. So if your heel wasn't anywhere close to your butt before, now you back your butt up to your heel. And reach around with your right hand as well if you haven't already. Keep the butt and the heel snug to one another. And this is plenty. You'll probably feel a huge opening of your right quad with your torso really upright. If it feels all right in your body, you can keep your heel to your bum and go forward a little or even a fair amount with your hips too. And then wrap your elbows back. Reach your heart forward and up a little. One more deep breath. And then release the right foot. Grab for the other block. Take it between your hands. Squeeze it. Reach it forward. Squeeze it well. Start to reach it up. Bend the elbows and just reach it straight back. Again, not dropping it to the shoulder blades. Hug your left hip back and then firm your tummy. And then start to move the arm bones back as much as you can, but do not let the elbows flare wide. They're in external rotation. If the elbows went out to the side, you would move into internal rotation of the upper arms. Squeeze the elbows in and then move your upper arm bones back. And then slowly grasp the block in your left hand. Place it down, duck your chin down. Move your right hand down your back towards a half Gomukhasana. Crawl the fingers down. And then once you've got your hand down as much as you can, lift your head up and press the head against the arm. You're giving yourself a little assist in the right tricep and outer armpit stretch. Your left hand can come to your left thigh or wherever is comfortable. Take another really deep breath in. And a slow deep breath out. And then release your chest forward, release your arms, gather your blocks in place. Put them in good alignment under your hands and step into plank. And again, use the plank pose to restructure your core, come back into symmetry in the body. Firm your legs. Draw your belly to your spine. And then feel the protraction of your shoulder blades, even as you widen the collarbones. Lift the side of your waist up and the side of your neck up. Take a breath in. Move your chest forward a little, tap your knees back and down, and then go forward and down just a smidge, and then begin to pull your heart forward in this hovering cobra. like you're pulling the blocks back. Drag your shoulders and your hands back, and then see how it feels to straighten your legs and straighten your arms. Toes are tucked. Be in a tucked toes, upward facing dog. Pull your shoulders back. Pull your heart forward. Spin your inner thighs up. Use your strong belly. Take one more big inhale. Drop your knees and bring your bum back to your heels. Extended child's pose. And take a full deep breath in and a slow deep breath out. Good. And then just sit up for just a moment. Take your blocks aside. Grab your strap and loop it around your arm bones just above the elbow. It's nice not to have the buckle cutting the flesh. You're going to be wider than shoulder distance apart. Just measure that a moment. And then bring your hands down to the floor, and you'll come into a downward facing dog just momentarily. Try not to let the block slip away or the strap slip away. Come into a plank pose, and then feel your shoulder blades widen on your back. Pull your belly up, and then go forward on the tips of your toes and start to bend your elbows and allow the strap to catch you. And it should be like, oh my God, that's so nice. I wish someone put a strap here every time I did chaturanga. My hope is that you could look back at your body here and see that your shoulder heads are in line with your elbows. Now, if you, like me, have a tendency of collapsing in your lower back here, lift your belly and lengthen your sacrum towards your heels. Keep your legs engaged, even though they don't have to work too hard here. And then look slightly forward. Don't overdo that. Lengthen the back of your neck and feel the balance of the body here. Tailbone long, belly firm, shoulder heads lifting away from the floor, shoulder blades pulling towards one another, but not dumping in the lower or middle back. And then drop your knees and slowly roll up and take that strap aside. And one last bit before we come to the wall. So grab one of your blocks, put your forearms down to the floor for a moment, and place the block right between the heel of your hands. And then you can walk your knees back as much as necessary to begin to reach your hips back. They don't have to come to your heels. Squeeze the block, and then lift your elbows off the floor, squeezing the block, and let your head hang down. So you're basically just in the overhead plane, but with the floor giving you a little reference and resistance. Squeeze the block with the heel of your hands, especially the outer hands, the pinky side of your hands. You can even take the heel of your thumbs away a little. Lift your arm bones up, right around the shoulder head, away from the floor, and let your head hang down. Take one more deep breath in. Squeeze the block, especially with the pinky side of your hands. Now let your forehead drop to the floor for just a moment, and then take your right arm back, bend the elbow, and tent the right fingers off to the right side. Listen carefully. Roll your left thumb to the left, so you roll towards the back of the left hand. Lift your head for a moment, and then roll your chest just a little to the right, and let your head kind of land on your left upper arm. Keep your left arm really straight, so you're trying to press to the back of your left hand, and then pull your hips back a little, and you should feel a big stretch for the outside of your left armpits. That's your left lats, your left serratus. And take one more really big breath in, and a slow deep breath out. Really doesn't matter what your head is doing. Drag your hips back, and then just come back to center. Put your forehead back down, reach your right arm forward. You can squeeze the block with your right hand. And turn your right thumb to the right, bring your left fingers back. It's just a little prop. Lift your head for a moment. Start to roll your chest to the left, and then pull your hips back. Press the back of your hand down. Spin your thumb out to the right, like the whole back of your hand would come to the floor. Maybe it feels good to let your head rest on your right shoulder, arm area. Don't worry about what your head is doing, but pull your hips back and get a big old stretch for your right outer armpit, all the muscles on the right side of the ribs, the shoulder blade. And then roll back through center, put your forehead down, stretch your left arm forward just to neutralize. And then rock your weight forward, press to two straight arms, and take that block off to the side. You don't need it anymore. Make your way through a downward facing dog. And then bend your knees a little. Lift your heels, look forward, look to your inner hands, firm them well. See the rotation of your biceps forward, triceps back. And then reach your hips up and back. and feel your armpit stretching wide open. The biceps spinning forward, the inner hands firm, arms in the overhead plane. Full external rotation of your upper arm bones, inner hands firm, neutral forearms. And then look forward and step forward. Heart forward. Fold Uttanasana. Utkatasana, chair pose. Tadasana, exhale, go right over to the wall. Grab your strap. Make the strap armpit distance apart, narrower now. Okay? Strap up your arms. I'm gonna say right below the elbow joint, but right above is fine too. Make sure it's not too narrow. I went a little too narrow. When you stretch your arms forward, you should see a really good shoulder distance plank. Come right over to the wall. When you stretch your arms forward, you should see a really good shoulder distance plank. Come right over to the wall. Don't be too close, but don't be too far away. I'm just gonna say a couple of inches, like 2 or 3, maybe 4 inches. We're not working on transitions, we're working on being up in a handstand. So lift one leg, and if you don't do handstand, turn around and do an L handstand. You surely know how to do that. Kick yourself up, and then look at your hands for a moment. See your inner hands and firm them down. Look to your biceps. Spin your biceps towards your eyeballs. And then let your head hang down. If it meets the strap, don't worry about it. And then lift the back of your heels, slide them up the wall. So now your arms are in the full overhead plane. This is like Urdhva Hastasana. Front ribs in. Try and scooch your heels up the wall. Let the strap hold you. Your elbows should not be popping out to the side. That would be internal rotation. Now envision your scapula, your shoulder blades. The outer border of the shoulder blades is rolling towards the floor. Could the inner border of your shoulder blades move towards the back of your heels? One more breath. And then look down. That helps. Slowly lower down. All right. Stand up. Take off the strap. Give your shoulders a little roll. Just let the strap drop to the side. And just do a half salutation to come down. Breathe, breathe. Look in the direction of full wheel, only because I want you to enjoy your arms in the overhead plane in this big front body opener. All right, so feel that your feet are in good alignment. I like wider than my hips, a little wider than my hips, but not turned out. And then reach your arms straight up to the ceiling. This is like plank. Turn your palms to the ceiling. Feel the shoulder blades protract slightly, back body full. Plug the arm bones down into their sockets and bend your elbows like a chaturanga, but start to take your fingers in the direction of the floor. Start to cut them down towards your ears. See your elbows hug in towards one another as you slide your hands down in line with yours. Go slow through this. So hands down, sneak them maybe under your shoulders. Now for today, I want you to take your hands slightly wider than you might normally and turn them out ever so slightly. Don't be dramatic about that. Firm your feet against the floor, firm your belly. Press your inner hands down. See that your elbows do not bow out to the side. Lift your hips and chest and come lightly to the top of your head for just a moment. On the top of your head, look at your elbows. See that they're not flaring out. This is the same external rotation. Draw your shoulder blades in onto your back and your arm bones towards their sockets slightly. And then slowly begin to straighten your arms. And if you could envision the glenohumeral rhythm here, the nape of your neck would move towards your hips. Your outer shoulder blades would spin with your hands. Your shoulder blades are firming together and on your back. And then see if you can straighten your arms a little bit more. Be sure the toes are not turning out. Lengthen your tail just a little. And then relax your head and neck. Maybe even shake it a little bit side to side. Take 2 more deep breaths. Press the floor away from you. Contract the back of your legs. Firm hamstring, big wide open belly. Take one more big inhale, listen carefully. As you lower, watch your elbows hug towards the midline and then look up to the ceiling and slowly lower down. And then just take a moment to rest. Big old pose.
Makes handstand look easy.
And roll right over onto your tummy, and we'll do a final Pec Minor Stretch. So your blocks should be right there nearest the sides. Turn them to their lowest height. Just have them on the wood floor and use them in a moment. Take your arms in a wide V with a little bend in your elbows. So the arms are in front of the shoulders. This is how we get to Pec Minor. Start to roll slowly over onto your right side, but don't go too far. Just start to roll onto your right hip. Crawl your right arm way away from you. Creepy crawly the arm. Use your left hand to slide the block under the right side of your head. And then crawl your right arm a little bit further away if you can. So it's up at an angle now. Press your right palm and forearm down against the floor. Make sure the elbow's at least a little bent and pull your shoulder blade down your back. That's crucial. Lift your right shoulder head away from the floor and drag the right shoulder blade down your back. I have my left fingers tented, but that's whatever feels comfortable. And whatever's good in the legs is good. You could tuck your knees into your chest. You could bend the top knee and let the top foot drop back behind you. That's going to weigh the chest opener a little bit more. Take a couple more breaths. You're pressing your right palm and forearm down. You're dragging your right shoulder blade on your back. This is that same cactus shape, but full different relationship to gravity. Big Pec Minor opener. You're also getting a little to Pec Major too. And just roll right back to center. Take a breath in and out. And then left arm out to the left and add a slight angle up. Start to roll partway over to your left side. 3 other blocks, that is the left side of your head. And then creepy crawly your left arm away from you up and at an angle. And then drag your left shoulder blade down your back. Remember, there's a little bend in your left elbow. Left shoulder blade moves down and back, down and back, and then turn your chest a little bit more. And then anything that feels good in your leg, you can tuck your knees into your chest, or stay right where you are with your legs more or less straight. Left shoulder blade down your left back ribs. Relax your neck, which is hard. Shoulder head, upper arm bone away from the floor, away from the block that's under your head. Take one more breath. Just roll back to center. Let your forehead rest down. Take a breath in and out. You might rock your butt a little from side to side. And just flip right over onto your back. And set up to rest. If you want to slip something underneath your legs, you certainly can. I'm going to suggest you take your 2 blocks, grab them in your hands, lowest height. Love this Virtuosana. Hold the blocks. And take your arms generously out to the sides. Give your shoulder blades a little tuck underneath you. Lengthen the back of your neck. And then just relax your fingers and let your blocks very lightly pin your hands to the floor. Opening up the palms so the fingers don't curl in the Shavasana, giving you a very light weight. And then let your breath get soft and easy. And take the time to rest. You certainly need it after a big back bending and then small inversion practice or short inversion practice. Probably pretty activated. Your heart might be racing, adrenals going. So take time to recalibrate, soften, absorb, surrender. Namaste.
That was tough. Oh, that was just week 2. That's the conclusion of the practice for week 2. And we have 3 more weeks of this.